cost. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a brawl attack. And I rolled 2, 4, 5, 6, 7 strikes. And that beats, it definitely is equal to or greater than the defense of 5. So this building is destroyed. Now this is what happens in an attack. I declare who I'm attacking, I roll my dice, I see if it hits. This attack hits. Then I look for any advantages that I might have. And I don't have any advantages, that's the ability with the star on it. I have no advantages, so they don't apply here. Then I would look for any triggers that I have. And I do have a brawl trigger, so let's look at it. It's the energy drain. And it says target monster's controller moves 1 A die. Now this isn't a target monster, so the trigger's not going to apply. If it said target building and something happens, it would apply. But this is a trigger for a target monster. That's not a target monster, so I have no triggers that apply to that. Then I look for any reactions on this building. This building has one reaction, and it's a flame. And I'll go to my reference sheet, and I'll look up that little symbol and see what that means. And so I go to the buildings page, and it says Blazing Inferno. It's a reaction. It says, if this building is hit or destroyed, replace it with a fire hazard. Figures moving into this hazard take 1 damage. This building was hit or destroyed, so damage, and I replace it with a fire hazard just like the reaction says. And then, because that building was destroyed, I'm going to gain the 3 power die from this printed energy cost, move them into my power pool, and now that's the end. I've left a hazard on the board, I've gained some power die, I've advanced a bit on the map, and all of these action die that I spent on that now go back into my unit pool. Blast die, or the boost die, just go right back over in my dice well. And I am done with my attack phase. Now, at this point, I could push any dice that I have in my monster pool over to my unit pool, just if I want to go and do that. I have nothing to push, so I'm not going to use my push phase. And so, with that building destroyed, Zorog gaining some power die, I'm going to pass the turn to Dylan.
Okay, and I will perform a monster activation. That's pretty much all I can do right now. First thing is the power phase. So I'm going to take these 3 action die. Let's see if I can't get some power dice.
Nice.
I clearly got some hits there. So I'll check and see if I'm securing anything so that I can get power dice. I am, since I have these 3 units, securing this building, radar array. And whenever you secure a building, you do get a power dice for your power up. Also, I'm going to go ahead and check and see if I have any abilities or triggers that I get from securing this building. I've got this little square here that has kind of a little radar dish, so I'm going to check out what that says. It says radar network. If you're securing this building, allies without radar gain +2 spaces to the range of their blast attacks. So I don't get anything in terms of getting extra power dice or anything like that, but if I do decide to make an attack with somebody who can make a blast attack, they get +2 to their range. So I'm going to go ahead and check and see who could benefit from me securing this radar array. I see that my rocket choppers, none of them have the ability radar, so they're going to go ahead and get +2 to their range, so they normally have a short range of 3, so they'll basically makes them a long range unit. They'll be able to shoot 5. Now Sky Sentinel does have the radar ability, which does grant him +2 to his range. Basically, Sky Sentinel is not going to get an additional 2 to his range, so he's got a long range over on his blast attack, so he will get just a total of 7 spaces that he can shoot, rather than, say, adding another 2 from the radar array. Also, this little Vanguard guy here should also benefit from the radar array, because he is an ally. Even though he is not my faction, he is my ally in my army, so he gets the benefit from the radar array as well. Next, I'm going to check and see if I have any units who are securing power points, which will also give me a power dice for my power up. Now, I see that my rocket chopper here is securing a power point, or is on top of a power point. Now normally units with flight, as rocket chopper has, cannot secure power points. However, if I go over here to Sky Sentinel has a ability in blue, which means all of my allied agenda units benefit from it. It's called ground control, and that means that all of these units with flight can secure power points, so I will get a power dice for being on top of that. That should conclude my power phase. So we go next to the hyper phase. Well, I don't really want to go to my ultra form, and I can't because I don't have
I can't help but notice there's some action dice just sitting on the battle map there. What do you think you should do with those?
I should probably take these action dice, which are just sitting here on the map, and put them in my unit pool. Thank you, Steven.
You're welcome.
Keep me on my toes. So that concludes the power phase and the hyper phase. Next is the advancements phase. Now I do need to pay one of my action dice to move, put it over here in my unit pool, and now I can move, check out Sky Sentinel's speed, a total of 7 spaces. So I'll go ahead and show you. Here are the possible moves that Sky Sentinel can move. And I'm going to go ahead and move him in this manner. Now, Sky Sentinel has fly, so he can get around this Statue of Liberty that's in his way. Go ahead and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I am done with my advancement phase. I'm going to go ahead and move on to the attack phase. And I'm going to go ahead and take advantage of Sky Sentinel's little extra boost to his range from his ability Radar. Now, normally, as indicated by the blast symbol here, Sky Sentinel would have a long range, giving him a total reach of 5 spaces. That radar ability gives him an extra 2, kind of as we said before. Just to show you guys kind of the difference this makes on the map, this is what a unit with short range would be able to hit. And this is what Sky Sentinels or any other unit with long range would hit. And this is Sky Sentinel's range from that extra bonus from radar. And as you can see, right at the very edge of that range is Mr. Chomper here. I'm going to go ahead and try and hit him. Steven, how much armor does that guy have?
He has a defense of 3, and he has no cover.
His defense of 3, he has no cover. Now, Mr. Sky Sentinel here has a blast rating of 6, so I can use up to 6 dice in my roll to try and kill that little chomper there. I have to use at least 1, but I can use up to 6. And I'm going to go ahead and use all 6 because I want to make sure that I get this guy. He also has this little star down here. It has a 2 next to that. That means I'm going to get 2 additional boost die in my roll. And this should hit Chomper no problem. Ow! And looks like I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Plenty to hit Mr. Chomper there. And that attack hits and he is destroyed.
Alright, so the attack hits. This is the first step. Now we are resolving your advantages that you have. So you don't have any stars, do you?
No, I do not.
No stars. Then we resolve any power attack effects, but you didn't make a power attack. Then we resolve the attacking figure's triggers. Now, do you have any triggers on your blast?
I do not.
No triggers. Then I resolve reactions that apply on my unit. I don't see any reactions, nothing with a shield there on the right side. And so we apply damage and remove destroyed figures from the battle map. So he takes 1 damage, he's removed from the battle map. And anytime a figure is destroyed, the attacker gains 1 power die.
Boop.
Gained.
And these dice that I used to attack have been spent. They go in the unit pool. And these blue boost die just go back in their little home in the well. I believe that concludes my turn. I can't push because I don't have dice to push over.
So Dylan destroyed my unit, and it's removed. It's destroyed. It's removed. But the good news is, destroying a unit doesn't mean that I just throw it off the table or crush it and I can't use it again. It goes right back into my unit reserves, and on this very next unit activation I can play that exact same unit. So sometimes just having one unit in your army is sufficient. If it's a unit that you might throw out into the middle of everything, it has an ability, maybe it explodes, goes right back into unit reserves, you can do it again next turn. So everything's constantly cycling. Nothing ever really goes away in Monsterpocalypse. Alright, so it's my turn, and the first thing I can do, it's my unit activation, so I follow a different set of phases than on my monster activation. First thing I do is my spawn phase. So I have, now I've gained this 6th one, so I have 6 potential spawn points, and I could spawn 6 units if I so chose. But I'm probably not going to do that, because what you run into is having to kind of calculate what you want to do in a turn, and then making sure you have enough action dice to do it. So for instance, if I want to make an attack on Dylan this next turn, I'm going to need to keep in my head, okay, I need some action die left over so that I can make that attack. So you have to really calculate a lot ahead of time, sometimes a couple of turns in advance actually. So let's go ahead, and I know that I want to move these 2 units. I want to attack that chopper in the middle. I'd like to utilize this over here. So I'll pay 1 during my spawn phase to spawn an Explodohawk here, because I'm controlling that. Then, do I want to spawn anything else? I do, I think. I'll pay 2. This is a grunt unit, but it is a rare grunt unit that has a cost of 2. You'll notice in the bottom corner, the coin says 2. It's a crawler. So I'm actually going to pay 2 to spawn him here on my little point here. And I think that's it for my spawn phase. So I'm going to go ahead and move on with my unit phase. And let me look around here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'd like to move 1, spend 1 to advance or move this Scorcher, and he has flight, so he can go through buildings. Can't end on buildings, but can go through buildings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he's going to get right in there on that chopper. I'm going to pay another 1 to move this Scorcher. 1, 2, 3. He's in there. Now what I've done here is something that's accomplishing 2 goals in this movement. On the one hand, I have some nice brawl attacks that I can use on the chopper. On the other hand, I can potentially secure this building if I kill this chopper. I'll have 3 units adjacent to it at that point, and I'll have the building secure. So, if you can accomplish a lot of different goals with 1 or 2 moves, definitely saves you some time, and is definitely going to make you a better Monsterpocalypse player. Okay, so I've moved these in place, but I've got more things up my sleeve here. We'll show you a few other abilities. I'm going to pay 1 to move my Destructomite. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I like that move. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Notice that this also potentially allows me to secure this building if I kill this chopper. And then I'm going to pay 1 more to advance. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You'll notice that this unit is flying, so it's able to move through this impassable terrain. This Destructomite would not have been able to do that. It does, however, have all-terrain, which I'm noticing is a skill, which means it can move through rough terrain without taking the extra move penalty. So I'm going to look around here, and I'm done with my movement phase. I've got a crawler. I maybe could move him here, but I kind of want to save these action die. So I look at this Destructomite, and it gives the skill Flank. And so I'll go here to my my sheet. I'll see what Flank does. It says, enemies within 2 spaces of this figure are -1 defense from brawl attacks made by other agenda figures. So, you know, if my Explodohawk wants to brawl this chopper's going to be at -1. Now what I want to show you here is how to make a combined attack. Now I can include, if I'm going to make a combined brawl attack here.